What's up, everybody? Wagme Capital here. Coming at you with a new week of trading. It is Monday, so let's get to it. First off, I want to start off with if you guys have been following my videos and my Twitter, was having a little bit of difficulty trading, and I want to make it simpler for myself. So I want to come up, with a system with explicit rules, easier ways to watch charts. And so the first step of doing that is I want to trade SPY. So SPY is like an ETF that tracks the S&P 500. And so instead of, having a watch list, watching 5 different stocks, each with a put trigger and a call trigger, and those are, influenced by SPY and, just keeping track of all that stuff. I just want to focus on one ticker. It's SPY. And so for the foreseeable future, I'm just going to be trading this S&P 500 ETF. So today was my first day doing it, broke about even. So let's get down to it. So for the daily today, I typically trade on a 5-minute for the daily. So let's hop into that chart. Okay, so you can see this was the first bar of the day for us today. Big gap down, right, over the weekend. Let's see, extended, you can see, what do we have here? Okay, so yeah, this is where we closed last week. After hours on Friday, pretty flat, pre-market today. Obviously down a little bit. So that's what led to this gap down that we saw. And so I made 2 trades today. So what did I do? This gap down. So these yellow bars are the daily high and low. So if we go to the daily chart here, we go back and look. So this was last Friday. You can see the yellow bar at the high, the yellow bar at the low. And so when we go in here, I'm looking to see if we can break that support. And why is that? So if we can break below the high the low of last week, last Friday, see here's the low. So, it got down to here and then finished higher. So what does that mean? That means net, there were more buyers than sellers. Buyers were driving this price up and sellers, it didn't keep going up. So there was some selling pressure right here toward the end of the week. It just kind of flattened out on low volume, but there are people that were buying at this yellow line. So if we break down below it, like we did, the people that were buying here are in the red, right? If you bought here and are long here and the share price drops below it, you're in the red. You're holding your position at a loss. So you're going to see a lot of these people liquidate to just cut their losses. So when we gap down, the first trade I wanted to do was the opening range break. So this first candle, we gap down, it's outside the range. That means we're going to see a lot of volatility. Either we're just going to see, people selling, going short and just, people liquidating their positions and we're going to keep falling, or you're going to see the bulls and people trying to buy and get this back up. They're going to see, oh man, like this is a deal, buy the dip. We're all the way down here. Let's get this baby back up to all-time highs. So I wanted to see if we would break below or above this first candle. And so we broke below, right? So right here on the second candle, you can see we break below. And so I bought right somewhere in here, puts. And then what a bummer. I sold out early. I probably sold on this candle, I believe. I can actually see in a second. Sold at, is that right? 947. So 647. So yeah, on this candle right here. So I bought on this candle, 2 candles later, sold. I got out for about 15% profit. So I had a trailing stop loss that got triggered. It's fine. Obviously, this went further down. I think it was close to like 80 or 100% gains if I would have held it. But that is the power of the opening range break. You see right here, just as we keep going lower, the people that were buying up here are just further and further in the red. They're selling, they're cutting their losses. People are going short. You see that red EMA cloud here. We're just riding it down. A lot of momentum to the downside. So that first opening range break was my winner. Now my loser was this inside candle right here. And so what I was trying to do here was, and this isn't, I wouldn't necessarily advise this. I was trying to look for a reversal. And so outside and inside candles typically, give you a chance to kind of see that. But so what this inside candle tells me is that no one could win. Sellers and buyers couldn't win. We didn't break above this high. We didn't break below this low. We were in the middle, right? That's why it's an inside candle with that eye. So this needs to be resolved, right? Someone has to win eventually. We're not just going to trade at this level for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week, for the rest of the year. Someone is going to break out. And so typically a trading strategy you'll see is the same as the opening range break. If we break above this high, you buy. If you break below this low, you sell. Because that'll tell you who, quote unquote, won this little battle. So to me, I'm looking for a reversal. So look at this EMA cloud, look at the chart. We're going hard down, hard down. Bulls give a little resistance here, a little push, falls right back down. But we're kind of flattening out, like this gap down, hard fall. We're, hard, all red candles, lower lows. Keep going. Right here, we're starting to flatten out. And this EMA candle, it's still going hard down, but we're flattening out a little bit. So I was like, hey, if this inside candle tells me it's a struggle, that maybe, the bulls are coming back. People are going to buy. Here's the bottom. We're going to reverse trend up, not necessarily get all the way back to Friday's level, but just a few candles for a nice quick gain. So I see this inside candle. It breaks to the high side. So I bought. And it was a fake out. As you can see, it just dropped right back down, ended up, I had a stop loss set at 10%. But here is what I was looking for. I had the right idea just a little bit early. So see, you can see here, we're still below the EMA candle, right? Or sorry, the EMA cloud. It's still trending down hard. It's a wide candle. It was just a little bit early. This was a better setup. We had a couple green candles. You see some momentum. EMA candles thinning, definitely flat here. We're a couple candles away from a flip. So my strategy put here would have been great. That probably would have gotten 30, 40, 50% gains, but I tried it here. This inside candle, people are trapped on the inside of this. Once you break out, you can, exploit them for your gains, but that didn't quite work out for me. So that was my trade. That's why I ended up about break even on the day. But I did want to go over a couple of swing trades that I saw. And so on the S&P here, you look at the weekly. Okay, where did we go? So last week we had an outside candle. You can see this red one here. So we got to, I think, all-time highs. Yeah, last week. So this outside candle, same as what we just talked about with the inside candle. There are higher highs and lower lows than the week before. So who won? I mean, it's a red candle. So obviously, bulls or the sellers kind of won. But at one point last week, we had all-time highs. We pushed above this candle. So this candle closed here. We opened here. We gapped up on the week and went even higher. So there are people that are buying from here, right? This is their entry because this is where we opened and it pushed up. So people were buying all through this wick. And then obviously the selling started and we got all the way down to here, this yellow line. So what does that tell me? That tells me that there are trap traders on both sides. So it's just like the inside candle. If you break the top here, you want to buy. If you break the bottom here, you want to sell. And so we opened, as you remember on the 5-minute chart, we gapped down. So the bottom of this body is where we opened this week. So I actually didn't play this, but you could have bought puts for a swing trade. So 2-3 weeks out, you could have bought this. We'll try to check on the progress here over the next couple of weeks, but it'll be an interesting play to see. As you can see, so here we have a couple. So this was an inside, it broke, and this is kind of a fake outside. It didn't break the top, it broke the bottom and then went pretty far down. So here, where's the bottom of this? 457.60. Right, the low 457.77, and then the low here 448.92. So you know, pretty good move here. We'll see what we can get this week. I did not play this one. The one I did play was a Facebook daily bar. And so Facebook daily, this had an outside inside, which is a pretty rare setup. So what this means is like basically double the amount of people are trapped, kind of. It's not the technically correct way to say it, but think outside candle, like we opened down here below the day before, right? And then we pushed all the way up here to this like purple line. And then sellers started selling and then push it all the way back down to where this body closed. So we are outside of this candle. We had lower lows and higher highs. There are a ton of people trapped in here. There are sellers and buyer. There are sellers up here, buyers down here. So if we break this top, all these sellers that sold at the top here and pushed it down on this wick, right? So we got all the way up here, but ended up down here. So people, there was selling pressure all the way down this wick. If we get above this wick, all these sellers are going to be in the red, right? And the same goes down here. We opened down here, we went all the way up here and ended up here. So all this body is buyers. So if we get down below this body, you know, people are going to be trapped. There are going to be buyers here in the red. They're going to need to sell to cut their losses and liquidate their position. And the selling is just going to accelerate the drop off. So what's the next candle do? It's an inside candle. It can't choose. So that, you know, they're both trying hard, buyers and sellers. It doesn't break the high. It doesn't break the low. And so this is a great setup to see. And so we opened here. So if we go maybe the hourly chart. So let's see, where'd we open today? January 10th here. So again, a gap down, right? So we gap down and then eventually closed back up above where we started today, but still below where we ended last week. So you can see this body is still below last week, but it's a hammer, it's a green hammer, you know, that typically signifies like we got all the way down here and then buyers came out strong and passed not only where we opened, but got past that. So we'll see here. A lot of people trapped. I did take the swing trade. So I bought puts when it broke below. So I'm in the red right now, but this is a swing trade. So it's meant to be on for a couple weeks. So, you know, I took it lotto style, which means I'm risking it all. Like I'm fine if this goes to zero. That was a risk I took when I took the position. So I'm not going to cut my losses. I'm going to hold on to it all the way. If it goes to zero, so be it, because I'm riding this one out. So this is one we'll keep an eye on as well. But, you know, just kind of, I think it's my first swing trade here. So we'll see if, you know, this outside inside pattern holds and what kind of gains we can get. So thanks for stopping by. We'll be right back at it tomorrow with, you know, tweets and another video. So hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you tomorrow.